Hi everybody and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about multiplication. And in this application of multiplication, we're going to be talking about when we multiply many things. So instead of just doing two numbers by two numbers, we're going to be looking at multiplying many numbers by. So as we look through this, double check my mic, we're good. We can start off with some real world examples. So if we have something like our first box here, what we can see is we have a little green section right here, and then a second box section here in red. So two different pieces and basically making up a complicated, a kind of put together shape. So if we look at this, our total area of this box is equal to the inside plus the inside. So 9 inches here, 21 inches here. So we have a total of 30 square inches. If we look down at our second box here, it's not solved for us yet, so we actually don't know what this area is at this time. So what we would do is, just like up top, we got to find our red area, our green area, and then now we have a couple more areas, a yellow one and also a blue one. So what we would do for this is we would say, okay, this side is 3, this side is 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. So that red area is 12. This side is 5, this side is still 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. This side is 6, this side is 3, so we get 18. And then this side is 6, this side is 5, so we end up with 30. So now what we can do with this very complicated box with 4 different color-coded sections is just take them piece at a time and add them together. So we'll end up with 18 and 12 is 30. 20 and 30 is 50, and then add those together to get 80. You could do it in any order. If you wanted to do 12 and 20 first to get 32, and then 18 and 30 second to get 48, and then add those two together, you'd still get 80. So it doesn't make a difference here. Either way, our final answer is 80 inches squared. And again, that's just calculator math, something you can punch into your calculator and get an answer for. So the big idea is we did multiplication off the edges of the box, and then to find the total area, we added what's on the inside. So you can probably guess what we're working towards is doing this with variables. So the same thing, if we have two sides of our box, one is x, the other is x, well, x times x is just x to the second power. Same thing here, this side is x, this side is 3. Well, 3 times x is just 3x. So if we're looking for the total area of this box, we just take the two insides, and just like up top, we add them together. And that right there is our box method theory of multiplication. And that is exactly what we are going to be doing today in our notes. So down to our next page here, we have our first definition, and it is box method. And the key to this is an organizational method for multiplying polynomials, so many terms, using area models. So the key for the box method is we are going to match up however many terms with sides of a box. So if we have x and y and z, and then we have like 2 and w, what this means is we have to draw a box that has 1, 2, 3 on one side, and then 1, 2 on the other. So when we're making this box, we have to have 2 sections here, and then 3 sections here. So to do a second example, if we add 1 plus 7 plus 5 plus 9 times 2, we would have a box that matches what we see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. And then 2 is just one side there. So we're not actually using the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. What we're saying is that's what tells us what size box we're making. So basically what we're going to do is just count the terms that we have, and then we're going to create a box based off of the number of terms that we're given. So we'll practice here a couple of different types of examples. So 1, 2 terms in our first one, and then 1, 2 terms in our second one. So we end up with 1, 2 terms here, 1, 2 terms here. So like we said before, that's going to give us the correct size box. Now from that point on, what we do is we just simply drag and drop. So parentheses have to stay together, so anything that's in a parenthesis, it does have to stay together. So 2x and positive 5 stays together, goes on top. And then for our second one, 3x, and that's a minus 7, so keep the minus with it, that drops down to the other two openings. So we're just filling in the openings on the edges of our box. So from here, we take our top term, multiply it by our side term. So 3x and 2x go together, and that's going to give us 3 times 2. So multiply like terms here. So 3 times 2 is 6, and then x times x is x to the second power. Again, take our top term, multiply it by our side term, multiply the like term, so number times number, so 15, and then just x is left over, so we drop that down. Same thing here, top of a box, top term is 2x. Now the side term is negative 7. So we're not subtracting 7, it's multiplying it by negative 7. So multiply those like terms, so 2 and negative 7, the two numbers, multiply those together, and then bring x down, and then negative 7 times 5. So negative 7 times 5, punch that to the calculator, gets us negative 35. So now what we're going to do is look for terms that are the same, that they have the same number of x's next to them. So in blue, we have x squared, so that's 2 x's. In green, we have just 1x. And in green, again, just 1x. So x to the first power. And then no x's at all are in red. So things that are the same, we get to call them like terms and add them together. Keep the signs with them. So if there's nothing there, we just write a plus. We assume it's positive. But if there's a minus sign there, we keep the minus sign with it. So again, like terms, same number of x's, those are things that go together. So 6x squared comes straight down. 15 minus 14, again, check that on the calculator, but should just give us 1x, or just x. And then in red, our number is the only constant, only numbered term. So 6x squared plus x minus 35 is what we get after multiplying. So we'll do one more here on the side as practice, and then I'll have you go through and check your answers on the following two. So setting up our box first, 1, 2 terms, 1, 2 terms. So we're going to have a 1, 2 here, and then 1, 2 here. So we'll just extend these lines now. So 2 by 2 box, because we have 2 terms and 2 terms. So x and minus 7, and then x and positive 5. So top times side, top times side, top times side, top times side, and again multiplying here. Like terms go together, x and x gives us x to the second power. Negative 7 and x don't have any like terms, so just write them next to each other. X and 5 don't have any like terms, so we just write them next to each other. And then lastly, 5 times negative 7, multiply those in our calculator, gets us negative 35. Just like before, color code if we have any like terms, so a single x term, x to the second power, and just our number. So writing these out, again, identifying those like terms and simplifying. So minus 7 plus 5, and be careful, that is minus 7. So not an answer of 12, but in this case, an answer of, for our x term, minus 2x. And that gives us our final multiplied answer. So I'm going to have a quick pause here, take a moment, and have you multiply these in a box and see what you get. So just a quick answer check here. And that should be what you got for our first one there. So hopefully that works. If you're not sure, ask us questions. Right now is a good time to ask. Pause the video, rewind it, or if you just call us over, we're happy to help. Let's go on to our second one now, and I'll have you do this one as well. All right, so a little bit more tricky because we do have multiple variables here, but we follow the exact same process. So like times like, 2 times 5. then x and y are not like terms, just write them next to each other. So again, x and y just go right next to each other. Minus 6 and -1, -6. X and y, again, not like terms, just write them next to each other. And then finally, last one here. So there we go. So looking for like terms again, the only ones that have the exact same variables, again, are in green. Starting to notice a little bit of a pattern. The diagonals in our boxes, most of the time, are going to have those same like terms. 10 minus 6 is 4. And there we go. There's our answer. So one more quick aspect before we wrap up for today. Just want to show us again that match the boxes. So 1, 2, 3 terms means that we're going to have on our top row here 1, 2, 3 spots for it. 1, 2 on the side. So 1, 2 on the side. So we should have 3 by 2 box that we're setting up. So 2r and minus 4, and then 7r squared minus 6r minus 6. So still multiplying the top by the side, so 7r squared times 2r, 14r to the third. Top by the side, negative 6r times 2r, so minus 12r squared, because there are 2 r's, so r to the second power. Then here, minus 6 times 2r, minus 12r. And then we keep going. So down on the bottom here, minus 4 now times our 7r squared, minus 4 times negative 6r, and then minus 4 times negative 6. So looking for terms that have the exact same variable, so exact same variable, exact same variable, and exact same variable, exact same variable. Remember, not just the letter, but also the same power must match. So like terms get added up. If it's not a like term, we just copy it straight down. So minus 28 and minus 12 do get us to negative 40. And then plus 24 minus 12, just our r terms, get us to plus 12r, and then plus 24. So full final simplified answer goes right there, just like so. So last thing for today, just going to have you try this now, again, with a 3 by 2 box this time. What do we get for this one? So 3 by 2 box. Put our term with 3 on top. Put our term with 2 on the side. And then just work our way through, evaluating here, multiplying like times like. Remember, 2 n's gets us n to the second power. And then again, just looking for those like terms. So n to the second power, just n to the first power. Copy down anything that's not a like term directly, and then like terms we add. So 12 minus 4 gets us 8. And then minus 8 minus 24 gets us negative 32. 16 comes straight down, and there is our final answer. So again, hopefully that was some good practice and some good review. If you have finished watching the video, you are ready for the practice questions. As always, if you need help, let us know, and you can get started. Thanks, everyone.